All right, well, let's get into the quickest. You know how we like to start it off on the show.
Shame on you.
Shame
Shame on
Keep it going on him. We like to start it off with really, really quick stuff that we feel like are like sports U headlines, stuff that is happening in the sports world that we don't really necessarily want to talk about too in depth, but definitely want to notify you guys about things that are happening around NFL, NBA, so on and so forth. So the first thing we got on here is Marquez Valdes-Scantling signs 3 years for $30 million with Chiefs and pairs him with Juju Smith. Anybody on the first thoughts on that?
Well, they got him a speed, deep threat, and cheaper. Way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Way
That's
cheaper,
what I was
bro.
gonna say, like,
They got a 3 for 1.
They had to get somebody.
They got a 3
Yeah.
for 1.
They had
That's
to do
nice.
something.
And we were saying that beforehand, like, you know, these Chiefs know what they're doing. They might want to take a different approach. You can still get a vertical threat, not totally replace Tyreek, but, you know, get some sort of replacement for that aspect,
and
right?
Like they'll still have a vertical game, but like again, Mahomes doesn't have to go there every play, and I mean they can still mix Valdes-Scantling and other shit too.
MVS, Kenny Clark definitely loves him. Was tweeting at him and congratulating him on through Twitter right there.
Yeah.
The next quick hit, go ahead and bring it in, Gift Man.
Man, so QBs Malik Williams, Kenny Pickett,
Malik Willis.
Whoops, my bad, Williams. Malik.
Proceeds to say Williams.
Yeah, bro.
Proceeds to say Williams.
Whoever's name is Williams out there, my bad, big dogs.
He's still on his goddamn
My bad,
Rockets.
big
Oh,
right. Anyway,
God.
That's the problem.
Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett go top 3 in round 1 in recent expert mock drafts, and honestly,
Kenny Pickett, small hands.
I like
hands
Kenny
Pickett.
I like Kenny Pickett though, because he's the guy from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I like Malik Wills more, only because I seen his
Willis.
Willis. My bad, y'all. Willis. Fuck. Hey, man, that's what it is.
I thought you liked him more. You can't even get his name right.
Okay, my bad, dog. I can't fucking remember everybody's name all
Donnie
the time.
Fogel?
Donnie Fogland.
Donnie
Donnie
Fogland.
Fogland.
My God.
Whatever.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
anyways, I really liked his pro day event. Great arm. He can move. He's not like no stick in the mud type guy. Don't really want to compare him to anybody yet.
No.
But I like what I see so far. I like his movement on the field.
Listen to him. I kind of like what I've seen from Malik as well. One of the biggest things that I kind of seen was his reaction to his play. It felt like there's a lot of energy coming out of there. Any quick thoughts on these two guys going in the top 3? I don't really feel like they deserve to, but hey, how do you feel about that?
3
Like
of
3 picks.
Yeah. I
Oh
don't know
wow,
about that,
nah.
bro. I'm
Because
sorry,
West
I don't
Bro's
think
name
so.
West Bro's name at Cincinnati.
It's a lot of defensive players this
the
year,
corner.
bro. Sauce
I don't know.
Gardner, isn't it Sauce Gardner?
Yeah, Sauce.
I don't
Gardner,
even think
Sauce Gardner.
I don't even think
thought we
he's
were talking about
projected
QBs.
to be
My
top
fault.
3. But like I'm saying, he looks insane.
Exactly.
Nice.
Who
That's
doesn't want?
insane.
Who doesn't? What is he like? A 6'4", running like a 4'5"?
He's
Come
insane. He
on,
looks
man.
Kyler Murray
He's insane.
came out of his cave and said some stuff he doesn't really like to talk too much. It's a very small cave. I wouldn't even call it a cave. I'd call it like a little cubby.
Igloo.
You know, cubby, because he's so small. I'm not really too worried. This is him in quotes. Kyler Murray says, I'm not really too worried about my future as a Cardinal. And he continues to say that he wants to continue to develop some stuff in the community. So that's good news for you, right? Gifton, that's your favorite guy, even though, you know, you're a Derek
What's
Carr
up with
fan,
your
Raiders
man,
fan.
bro? Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
man.
he's silently switching tents. This offseason, we gonna see him at the first day of the new season. He gonna come here with a Raider hat on.
With a Max
Oh,
Crosby
my.
jersey.
You God,
Nah,
Jonathan Abram jersey.
John Abrams.
Nah,
He's a good player. He can't stay on the field, though. But I feel like
He's
Kyler Murray,
okay.
like, that's good news, right? Hearing that?
Is it? You're focused on the
It really doesn't
community
tell
more
us.
than
It's-
your team.
Honestly, him saying that tells us nothing.
I guess it's like,
It doesn't
however
tell
you
us
read it,
anything.
right? Is I'm not too worried about being a Cardinal, or I'm not too worried because we're going to get something done.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been done though.
Well,
If
really,
they really wanted
It
each
I'll
other.
should've
put it
been
this way.
done.
I don't know because I mean, the team kind of aired him out, bro.
Yeah, facts.
That's what it is.
They
to me.
scapegoated the shit out of him this
I
year.
won't
this
say
past season.
scapegoated, but they.
Nah, they
they-
scapegoated for sure. Didn't they? I'm sorry. Did they not say they wanted a more mature quarterback?
But I'm not saying that's putting him as the scapegoat.
Why isn't it? We did it to Baker.
No, you guys did it to Baker.
I didn't.
I
say-
did say
And
we,
Ky-
and
and
didn't
Kyler-
look your way.
And
but
Kyler,
all right.
though. Well, yes, exactly. We all together.
I don't know.
live on Sports U, Gifton versus Broad. Nah, I wouldn't too worry too much about it. Everybody's already got their QBs already kind of settled. When it comes to the future of it, he wants to develop the community and stuff, man. He's talking a longer term investment. So I see something happening, and I just don't really see him wanting to go somewhere else because they built so much around the Cardinals. They even hired this, head coach, and they're a tandem. They come together, and they even have the same free agent. So we'll see what happens on that. So
need to get AJ Green out of there.
AJ Green.
Yeah,
you were hyping him up last year. You liked him.
I was, but he showed me a bunch of stats, and I was like,
I've shown him the light.
Whoa.
The light.
Yeah.
I like
Hold
AJ.
on, let me pull it
I like
up,
AJ.
bro.
The only thing that I felt like did
it.
wrong because think about it, he was supposed to be like the third, but they lost Kirk.
He was supposed to be the 2.
He was never supposed to be the 2.
It was D-Hop. Bro,
Christian Kirk is nice.
No.
Look at
how much money
that.
Jacksonville gave him because the Cardinals didn't want to do nothing about that.
Yeah.
Well, these are the quick hits, so we'll let you look onto that. I'll go ahead and bring in the next one.
I got it right here.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like wide receiver impact ratings.
I hate these. These are so subjective.
At
dog.
40, at the 41st one,
why is Jacoby Myers not that much lower than AJ Green?
Yeah. So Cortland Sutton is 41 at 67.38.
And Christian Kirk is higher than him.
Those numbers don't really mean that much.
No, I feel it, but
it's like for example, you guys are talking about the Rams secondary. Darius Williams was getting cooked. You also had Scott getting cooked, and it's like. Yeah, bro, like
they still
people are going to get got.
Saying impact ratings is dumb though, and saying like plus minus.
What is okay? You tell me what impact rating means.
It's based.
No. Yeah, you had too. Okay. Either one of you.
Bro,
he was
like
gone.
The impact rating we read, they actually show and back up what stats they're using to put into these impact ratings. So it's not like it's just some random numbers being thrown at us.
And I get that there's an argument that you can make to where you can gather all these different stats and say this is an impact rating, right? And it supports like okay, overall run blocking as let's say wide receiver run blocking, right? That's a big impact.
Yeah. Route
running, the attention that you bring, how many defenders are on you when you're going for your second or third or tertiary target. There's a lot of things that go into it. So when in my opinion, it's all about watching the games and seeing what kind of production they actually have on the field. Now, when I'm watching AJ Green, right?
that didn't add up, bro. I'm sorry. He didn't look great.
I thought he looked good other than that one game where it was supposed to be a run play and then they checked out of it and it was supposed to go to AJ and AJ was run blocking instead of trying to take the touchdown.
I think that's the play that made me start watching him a little more this year. Honestly,
I'm just saying for a third, I'm not comparing. Like Cortland Sutton is a second, and he is actually a really good player with some high upside. And we're saying that he's bad, and it's like,
I don't think
you got to give him some more time.
Sutton's bad,
but I'm saying according to those player impacts, he was lower than AJ Green.
No, he was higher.
How much higher?
Cortland
I thought you said he was lower.
No, he was 41st. AJ Green was lower.
All right, well, I'm not looking at those, so I don't really know the position, but I'm saying they're in the same realm, right?
Steven and Gifted.
Because, bro, we're saying
impact ratings.
That's the same shit as like a plus minus in basketball.
Bro, we're trying to tell you,
plus minus in basketball is stupid too.
It counts.
Okay,
it counts,
crazy.
Bro. All we're really saying is AJ Green didn't produce.
But AJ Green, he got released basically by the Cincinnati Bengals. So what are you supposed to expect from a third target? Like
he wasn't the third.
He is also not the main part. Okay, we were talking about Kyler. We went all the way to AJ.
He was a number 2.
The Thunder rookie Josh Giddey out for the season now, even though there's like less than 10 games left.
7 games
I mean, yeah.
Hip soreness.
What caused that?
Just possibly playing a longer season.
I think he was just run down, know, because you got to do a lot in Oklahoma. He was getting like triple doubles a couple of games too, so he was really putting out with a shitty squad.
I think his final numbers.
I'm not questioning that part. I was just wondering if he got like banged up or anything. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just being run down, a longer season, and his averages for his rookie season are 12. I think 7 and 6 or 6 and 7. So definitely very productive.
That's not bad.
And at the same time, it's high for him, right? It's all up for him.
I'm a little surprised he only had 12. Honestly.
Yeah, me too. I think it speaks to more of his team, like ability because he was a very good passer and getting people to their spots.
No,
so
like,
that's why I would say like
no,
his points can be more, but he was doing
all
more.
the other stuff. I could see that. Like he's gonna be solid, bro.
No,
he's gonna be solid, bro.
Josh Giddey.
I can see all that
Josh
other
Giddey
stuff.
can really hoop.
I was just more surprised that he didn't have a higher point average. Really, that's all it is. For me.
I feel that. Well, hopefully he can get healthy and he can come back all nice, especially for these Thunder. They always like to draft really well, and they can build a nice core to that team.
Let's hope they actually do that, though. I'm tired of them tanking.
They do got a lot of picks this year.
They can do Shea is so good, they just don't want to give him the right type of things around him. Maybe they'll do that next year, but I don't know. Like
they have the
West,
pieces to do it.
out of all times, I feel like the West is really open right now.
Yeah, it is.
Really open right now. So maybe in these next couple of years they could do something.
The West really still with Phoenix going.
And I mean, Phoenix got it locked down, but who else
Yeah.
is there? Like Golden State,
Yeah,
it's kind of up and down with them.
No,
there's a lot of
there's no
them that are up and
powerhouse
down.
team on the West. Like that's straight up. Like we're gonna have to.
Is
There can be, but there's a lot of injuries to them.
Is there a powerhouse in the East?
We can get to that a little bit later, but
Right.
let's keep on going with the West. I would say there's three top teams at least. There's the Bucks.
Yeah.
There's the Sixers. There's the Nets. Even though that when they're fully there.
Wow, he didn't try to put the Heat up there.
Well, we're gonna talk
I'm
about
a
that
little
later, but the
surprised-
Heat are there
I'm
too.
still a little surprised he put the Nets, even though they do have Kyrie back now.
They're
That's
they're
a
so. Have
difference.
you been watching them
That
lately?
makes
They're
a
so
difference.
nice,
yeah,
man.
they're
They're
very
so
good.
nice,
They're
and KD's
crazy.
crazy. We were speaking about the West, how injuries was affecting them, but also that the Suns are a powerhouse and they're at the top. Chris Paul returns to the Suns lineup after a 15-game absence to clinch the number 1 seed. It was from a thumb injury, and I also kind of want to point this out because I know Steven's here. He's a Laker fan. I always like to poke the bear. Kendrick Nunn been having a similar injury and hasn't been here all season.
I thought
Kendrick
he had
Nunn
a
hurt his
damn
knee.
bone bruise. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
It was a bone bruise at first, and then it became his thumb.
Well, I don't know how the hell that shit happened.
Really?
Yeah.
It became his thumb.
Honestly, bro.
I mean,
he's
fuck
been
it.
gone so long.
Yeah.
By
Yeah, like who
by
cares?
like
Who
February, I completely
I
tuned
got
out
him.
when he was coming back. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest,
I-
because the season to me, I'm like, it is what it is. Why it doesn't matter when he comes back.
Well, we'll
anymore.
definitely get into the Lakers a little bit later here, even though, Steven doesn't really want to talk about them too much. Gifton, I feel like you want bringing this one in. You're a big fan of Michael Malone.
Oh man, Nuggets coach Michael Malone signs a multi-year extension.
First-
Honestly,
he earned
yeah.
it.
not surprised. Definitely earned it.
He earned it.
Hell of a coach.
Good team.
Man, from having two of, at time the greatest centers from DeMarcus Cousins to now Nikola Jokic. Don't you dare
Boogie,
talk.
the
Don't you
greatest?
dare
You
talk.
can't
Don't just talk
slander
about
Boogie.
Boogie. Don't
He's
you
been
talk
playing
bad
good,
about
bro.
Boogie.
He's been doing well.
He-
I like him,
He's
but I'm
playing
saying
good,
like he's
bro.
never took the Kings to the playoffs, so that's why I'm like
He
great.
never
No, 'cause
had
he got traded.
anyone on
Yeah.
that team.
He
bro.
got traded before it could
Yeah,
happen.
Rudy Gay with him.
And then actually, no,
How
he
long
didn't
was
get
that?
traded. He got no.
2 years, 3 years.
Michael Malone actually got fired when they were streaking, and then I forgot who they replaced him with. But like the 1 year that the Kings actually had an opportunity to get to the playoffs, Michael Malone just got fired, and I think that's when not George Karl.
I was about to say. I hope that
Hold
happened.
up.
I can't remember who the coach is. I'd have to look
Fuck
back.
George
I'd have to look.
Karl.
It was a 30 for 30. They did a whole 30 for 30 about it.
Yeah.
So when I find it, I'm gonna send it to y'all for sure.
Sounds good, and we can get into a deeper dive on it in another show. I
Definitely.
think one of the biggest things about this is that Michael Malone, even though he had, and we speak a lot about Jokic, but I think his coaching style is really nice. He brings in a lot of these players that are no names, and they do very well. He puts them in
The
positions to
Popovich
win.
system.
Honestly, I
And
feel
at
like
the same time, one more thing, I feel like he develops them very, very well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
A lot of
like
these
the
young
core
players.
they have, I feel like the most of them they've had the last 2-3 years too. Like
Mhm.
a good amount of them they've had for like the last 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of like the Gary Trent trade and stuff like that, they've been consistent with their roster though.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it was Gary Harris, right?
Yeah.
It's all
It's
good.
all
It's all
good.
good.
Hey,
Gary
hey,
Harris.
dudes'
Hey,
names,
Michael
bro.
Williams, Michael Willis. We know who he is.
Oh no, That's just
Bro,
funny.
they're
That's
both
funny. It's all
juniors too. Aren't they?
No, it's just I
Or
think
is
it
it just Gary Harris?
I think
Gary
it's
Trent
just-
Jr. and just Gary
Gary
Harris.
okay.
Harris, yeah.
I think he has. I think he's a
Okay.
senior, and then he has a junior.
What was it, Dad's?
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah. Gary Trent. I mean
Gary
Gary
Trent.
Harris
Trent
is
Jr.
Gary Harris
has his
senior.
son.
Oh, okay.
He has a son.
But
Got it.
why we do this show in the first place. Of course, Gifton, bring in the NBA, the first matchup. What we got here?
Man, this is actually kind of a good one. I can't wait for this